welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that really wants to start a hitman union. It's Niall Moore.
How you doing, Mark?
I'm not joining your club.
It's got great benefits. We've got collective bargaining power. You don't have two guys going for the same hit at once. I think it's a really good deal.
Other meetings?
There will be no meetings.
Oh, good. Oh, so you learned from Akroyd in this movie.
I did. Yeah, if there be meetings, I'm out. I have too many meetings at work. I'm not going to start it in my spare time.
Yeah, I mean, how do you get all those hitmen together for hit people for meetings? Like, that sounds... And it's worldwide, so...
I guess, they had some, rudimentary chat rooms going on. You saw Akroyd, typing away on this, green, screen, being like, hey, I'm doing the Detroit job. And they're like, no, you're not. I assume it'll just be some kind of, what was it back in those days? MSN Messenger or whatever, or AOL chat, or...
This movie stays surprisingly modern because he has a cell phone. He has email. He's like, email it to me. Like this, when you watch this movie in 97, you watch Hackers, right? And then you watch The Net.
Oh, Hackers is ridiculous.
Yeah. And listen, purposely so, right? But you watch Grosse Pointe Blank and it feels very modern now. Like he's just on the computer, like, oh, it's in your email, just download it. Like, it's very, it does a very good job of not dating itself, I would say. And the music was all, 80s, 70s, kind of punk.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
the music is all kind of, basically, the music was all music that would have been around in, 1986, which is basically the 10-year before. So basically the era when they were supposed to be in high school. So you had things like Guns N' Roses with The Clash. You've got The Specials. You've got there's a Pete Townsend song in there. You've got Lena, 99 Love Balloons.
Violent Femmes.
Yeah, you've got some
Blister in the Sun. I became obsessed with because of this movie. This movie introduced me. I was 15 when I watched this. I saw this in the theater, and I gotta tell you, John Cusack has always been a favorite of mine because in Say Anything, he was this super nice dude, but he was also a kickboxer. So he was super nice, but he could also kick you. In this one, he's not the standard 97 action hero. I mean, action had changed. You had Keanu Reeves as an action star. You had Christian Slater. So I mean, they weren't as macho as they were in the 80s. But to see this hitman going to a psychiatrist or forcing himself onto a psychiatrist, I know where you live. Oh. Actually, the psychiatrist is going to need Alan Arkin's going to need a psychiatrist after dealing with.
Oh, definitely. He was strung out by the end. When was it, the third or fourth call, when he's decided I'm going to stop killing people, and he's just sweating and shaking, and he's just I'm done with this.
I'll take a shot at it. No, don't shoot anything. But yeah, what I like though about Martin Blank is he goes to a psychiatrist. He's also very just kind of open about his profession. He's just sort of nice. He seems just takes care of his assistant.
Nobody believes him.
Yeah, exactly.
People just don't even listen. He's just oh, what do you do? I'm a contract killer. And they're like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a growth market. And I liked him because he's not acting tough. This is a guy who, when he fights Benny the Jet in the hallway, he's a practitioner. He's a kickboxer. He knows karate, John Cusack. Benny the Jet's his trainer in real life, the guy he fights. So I just like the way he carries himself. He doesn't carry himself like the ultimate badass. This isn't the big hit. He's just a neurotic hitman who actually likes it, but he's going through a crisis of conscious, and he goes to his 10-year reunion, and then he meets they're perfect for each other in this movie, man. Minnie Driver and Cusack
She's
have
awesome.
chemistry for days.
She is the perfect girl next door in that movie. She's got just the right blend of this kind of quirkiness, but not that and just kind of that doughy-eyed kind of small town cuteness going on.
I want to say that she's almost too convenient and cute, but when you think about their history and the chemistry that she and Cusack have, when they're dancing, Ebert brought this up when she puts her arm around him, and just the way they smile at each other and the way they enjoy each other, and she slaps him, and just they like each other a lot. These two, they just really do. And you, the second they're together, you feel it. This doesn't feel like one of those contrived, very lonely, neurotic dude meets a woman who only exists in a movie and she makes him a better person. They just both really like each other in this movie, and I think it works.
There's nothing that seems forced about how the relationship is depicted or how it develops. It all just seems oh yeah, I can totally see these two are an estranged couple.
Yeah, and she kisses. That kiss she planted on him was improvised, which makes me very happy. And I was reading an interview with the director, George Armitage, who he has a really great interview about talking about this movie. And he just said that Cusack was really happy for like 10 minutes after that, because when she planted it on him. But I also love the story of this script. I should have learned the pronunciation, but Jankowitz, one of the two.
Jankowitz?
Yeah, he just realized his 10-year union was coming out, wasn't happy about it, who wasn't where he wanted to be. And then Steve Pink gets a hold of it, John Cusack gets a hold of it. And the original script was 130 pages, then it went to 150 pages. And then George Armitage was like, guys, we got to make this an 100-page movie. So then they got it down to 100 pages. But it still doesn't feel rushed at all.
It doesn't, but there's surprisingly a lot in it.
Yeah,
like, there are a lot of little
little
subplots and little things going on where it's like, rewatching it before this, I was like, I forgot this thread even existed in this movie. Like, there's a whole kind of separate thing with like his best buddy from university. There's like
10 years.
The bully.
Oh yeah.
The guy who's the bully, who's now a poet.
Oh, I love that scene. Oh my gosh. Just skip to the end. Oh,
that was improvised as well, apparently. That was like one of supposedly in the original script, he was supposed to read the whole thing out, and Cusack was just like, let's just skip to the end.
For a while.
They loved it.
Cudlitz, man. It's fun seeing Cudlitz in that role, because nowadays he's kind of a badass in Walking Dead and all, or, was like, he kind of has this badass persona, so I love seeing him like that.
Well, yeah, I was looking at it. I haven't really watched The Walking Dead, but I remember him he was in an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, that's my favorite episode.
A
zombie.
He played like the undead, like zombie brother who'd been like the football star.
And he's in Band of Brothers. But
yeah.
And I gotta say, like, this movie doesn't really need Hank Azaria and K. Todd Freeman, but I want
But they're
them
great.
In it. Yeah, exactly. Hey, tough guy. Hey, and you know what's interesting? There's a wrestling through line. So that Kenneth McCullers, K. Todd Freeman, they're like, yeah, he's a D1 wrestler. And then they meet their friend at the 10-year union. He's like, yeah, Greco-Roman, man, waist up. Like, but there's like a weird wrestling through line in this movie that makes me so happy. But
I guess
you don't need them, but I want them.
Like Hank Azaria doing like I'm gonna get you, man. I'm the tough guy. Do you think you can do this?
Yeah. The Michigan militia, she calls him. And I love it too when the Ultimart blows up and one of them just goes, cool. Like, that's just I'm really happy that you suggested this one, because like I said, I've loved John Cusack. I was always a big fan of his, because he was always, he always played kind of a tough guy, but he never played acted like the tough guy. So I love that about him. Also too, I forgot about how much of a great hangout picture this is. Like, this is a desert island movie to me, because with this, this movie, he goes there, it's so fast. Like, when they get back together, they're like, when he gets back, he and Minnie Driver are kind of like, okay, she's like, you got to earn your stripes for like a day or two. But we're, like they both love each other. Even when they like separate for a little bit, that last 6 minutes, like there's nothing.
Yeah, they're still just like, kind of thinking about her, and you see like wistful looks and just kind of like
yeah, it's just like 6 minutes go. Like, it's just such a streamlined hangout picture with likable characters, good dialogue. And you know what too? This movie came out in 97. This could have easily been Tarantinoized dialogue, but it doesn't play like that.
Well, Tarantino,
yes,
he wanted to be in it. He wanted to do a cameo and get like blown up in the store. That's why they ended up just putting the Pulp Fiction cutout in the like corner of the convenience store.
And they blew off Bruce Willis.
Tarantino actually wanted to, like, he loved it. Like, Tarantino absolutely loved the script and wanted to be a part of it, but he wasn't able to.
And he was a fan of Armitage, the director.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which makes sense, because this guy has such an eclectic filmography. But that's what I kind of love about him. And you know what's neat too? In Miami Blues, at the end of that, spoilers, Alec Baldwin dies. And so audiences hated it. So in the original drafts of this movie, I guess they filmed 3 different kinds of films for Grosse Pointe Blank. In this interview I read, ultra top, serious, and then somewhere in the middle, they had a scene where Martin Blanc dies. But then he remembered that with Miami Blues, everyone hated that Alec Baldwin died. So as soon as the father just says, yeah, my blessing, which always makes me laugh. Beautiful moment. They're just driving away. And then audiences loved it, he said. So they tried, like, he said he learned from his mistakes on Miami Blues to keep Blanc alive, even though he's a psychopath. Like, Minnie Driver is going away with a psychopath, but he's very open about it, so he's not a sociopath,
He
right?
is, yeah,
He's a
you know,
psychopath.
he just doesn't really have, you know, empathy, I guess. He's just like morally bankrupt.
Yeah, empty inside,
Mm.
but
Yeah,
he
he just
does.
doesn't really.
Yeah,
Though he does have certain, like you see, you know, he rescues the dude who's playing Doom in the corner of the convenience
yeah,
store. He like
yeah.
runs out past him, and then he's like, "Oh, hang on, I'll go back, grab the guy, save him from the explosion."
So he's a
Yeah,
psychopath, right?
there is some human kindness there.
Do psychopaths have human empathy? Like, is it a sociopath who lacks empathy? Because he's never trying to pretend. He's never trying to fit in with society by being someone else. Like, he's always himself, and he seems to
Well, he
know
definitely gets
himself.
called a psychopath several times.
Yeah. The director calls him a psychopath because he said he likes to murder. So,
He does, and he's got some creative murdering. He's copying something from You Only Live Twice with the
yeah.
poison on the wire. He tries to like get that guy in the hotel room. What I'm confused about is why is there access to like the hotel room underneath from the floor above? Like what is going on there? Does he
Yeah.
have to like tunnel through like the vents or something? And
Yeah, I have no clue. I mean, I guess he's that good, right? Hitmen find a way.
yeah,
I don't know. And
yeah,
I also too like Joan Cusack in this movie. She plays his assistant. Like I love her soup bit. She's like, no, like celery and carrots are just base. I don't know. I know you just went from talking about Hitmen, but I'm just in love with this movie, and this is the first time I've ever been able to talk about it at length. So it's kind of everything's like spilling out of me right now, kind of like Cusack does when he sits down with what Debbie at the radio station. He's just mumbling. But you know what's funny?
yeah,
When he sits there and like they have to close the blinds and he flips around, that stuck with me my whole
yeah.
life. I'm not a
And
hitman.
he
No,
just like he can't have like his back to the door. It's just, and it comes up in several other scenes. He's just like constantly checking out his surroundings and checking out.
so you know what's interesting? Recently, I've been doing a lot of movies where people come back home. So I've done Beautiful Girls. Well, I recorded them a while ago. Beautiful Girls, Just Friends, Garden State, and this. It's kind of nice in this movie how no one's like mad at him for coming back. Like his parents are like, "You never come home," or his brother's like, "What do
Well,
you know?
yeah,
You're never
his
here."
mum, his
Yeah, the
mum's in
dementia.
a home, I guess, and his dad is.
Was a drunk. I take it.
I guess, given that he poured an entire bottle of whiskey out over his grave.
Yeah, but when he comes home, everyone's just kind of like his best friend. They roll around. He catches up with other people. Even with Debbie, they kind of have some issues, but like, she still loves the hell out of the guy. So it's just nice that you skip all that. Like there's no. Does that make sense? Like there's just none of that hostility that
Yeah,
comes with it.
it's yeah. You don't have. Well, there's none of the manufactured drama that you sometimes get with these coming home things, where there's the people who stayed resenting the people
Yeah,
who went
yeah,
away.
yeah. I've been here for
It,
10
it,
years running the auto dealership.
and then you went away to do your own thing, left me here to
Yeah,
do all
exactly.
this stuff, looking after mom and pa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's none of that. But it just, I don't know. This is such a breezy movie. But I'm telling you, that just makes me realize why I love Cusack. Like, I just think he adds.
Well, Cusack, I had a look at his filmography. You know, he's only done 89 odd pictures, you know,
Wow.
including TV. It's not a huge number. You know, you see other actors with a far larger body of work. But it's so varied, and you know, I think eclectic is probably the best word for it. There's no one kind of point where you can be like, okay, that's definitely John Cusack-ish. It's all just like, you know, you've got Con Air where he's doing kind of action stuff. You've got this, which is kind of more action. But then you've got something like Being John Malkovich, which is just off the wall weird.
And 1408 that he pops in.
Yeah.
Like,
Or then, you know, Serendipity, which is just like almost I like to think that Serendipity could be a sequel to Grosse Pointe Blank. It's like, you know, it doesn't work out with him and Debbie. And he
oh,
kind of becomes a more well-adjusted man because he's still best friends with Jeremy Piven, right? So Jeremy Piven leaves the real estate game, moves to New York as an obit columnist, and then
man.
Martin Blank decides to leave the game behind and becomes whatever, I can't remember his name in Serendipity,
Oh,
and
I
ends
love
up
it.
with Kate Beckinsale.
I mean, Say Anything could be a prequel to Grosse Pointe Blank. You could tie all these together, which makes me
Yeah,
happy.
because a lot of, you know, that's the thing about John Cusack. A lot of, like, he's been in 10 movies with Jeremy Piven. I think Joan Cusack has been in 13 movies with him. Yeah, you know, he's got that kind of core that he works with.
Yeah, Steve Pink
Alan
too.
Arkin has been in several, I think.
Oh, really? Nice. Yeah, and I love Hot Tub Time Machine too, man. I love that film. But I think he's kind of the king to me of the kind of romantic comedies that don't feel like traditional romantic comedies. So you have like The Sure Thing, right? I just think him and I don't know, I love his cross country trip in there with she's from Spaceballs, Daphne Zuniga. I dig Better Off Dead because that's a weird movie. That's one of the strangest films, but it's beautiful in there. And then One Crazy Summer is more about like the friendships, and he has a relationship with Demi Moore, but he still does hoops like a weirdo. Like there's always a weird edge to his films. They're never. I mean, Serendipity is pretty straightforward.
Look
Must
at
Love Dogs.
High Fidelity as well.
Yeah,
That's kind of
he calls
jilted
himself
guy.
Passive aggressive womanizer is what he called himself in that. But like I guess with Grosse Pointe Blank, it's just it's a really interesting like blend of action and comedy. But like all the characters feel somewhat real, right? Remember at the party, like people are just drunk, everyone's dancing, having a good time, but then later on, everyone's just standing around looking plowed. That feels right to me, does it not? Like that seems like an actual reunion.
You see, I wouldn't know. Like this is a thing that's kind of alien to me.
I never went to one, but
we don't have those at least in Ireland. Like
no,
I can't think of any like 10-year high school. Like high school is not that big a deal, to be honest. People are just like, okay, you finished school now, go and do something meaningful. We don't have this kind of nostalgia for high school or that kind of thing that you see a lot particularly in US media. It's like the nostalgia for like the glory days of high school and when you were the best athlete in town or captain of the football team. It's like the highlight of your life.
I threw 5 touchdowns in one day. Like these are the best
in that
days
one game against that random team from 2 towns over.
These are the best days of our life. You watch Dazed and Confused. I love it. Great movie. But
that is a good one.
Yeah, in that movie though, they're like, these are the best days of our lives. I'm like, these are the best days of our lives. Shoot me. So I kind of like that had something to say about it. But yeah, I mean, nostalgia is strong in the States. Like nostalgia for like the 50s, like Spielberg, all that kind of stuff. And then his like kind of this nostalgia for this high school world that doesn't exist in the States. I mean, it's rich, but I also like, I don't know, I feel like this one has another, I don't know, I feel like these people feel real to me, even though they're in a heightened movie. I mean, maybe not, does that make, am I making sense? Because
you had like, was that another Cusack, Amy Cusack, I think it was, who was playing like the really drunk girl who just comes and sits down next to the diner. It's like, oh, you guys are still a couple. Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah. And she's dancing later on at the reunion, and there's a bunch of familiar faces who are dancing during that scene. So there must be a lot more on the cutting. There actually is a lot more on the cutting room floor. I would love to see a director's cut of this film. And also too, the director was talking about how there's a director's cut of Big Bounce out there. Did you ever watch The Big Bounce with Owen Wilson?
Doesn't ring a bell.
So it's based off an Elmore Leonard novel. It takes place in Hawaii, and I enjoy it. But I guess the original cut was NC-17, and then they cut it to R. And then what they said was, hey, we need to get this down to PG-13 because in 2004, this is right around when 40-year-old version took off as the R-rated comedies were taken off. But they're like, you need to edit it because R-rated comedies don't make money. So there's a director's cut of The Big Bounce out there somewhere that isn't cut down like the 17% rated flop. But yeah, I would actually like to see that movie. So it seems like this guy shoots a lot of footage, but he has.
Well, yeah, as he said, like it was 150 pages before they even cut the script down. Never mind what they actually shot and what they got improvised. I'm sure, like Dan Akroyd, there's probably an hour of him doing ridiculously weird things.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about his shooting technique. Shooting from the hip with 2 guns just while smiling.
And Cusack doing the lay down, twist arm, gun shots. Like it's very, none of it's I think that's why I like it so much. It's so silly, like the gunplay in it. And then he gets a TV on his head.
I was trying to kind of count the bullets and just be like, all right, how many do they actually fire? And I was like, oh, there is like a cursory stop every now and then where Cusack reloads. Nobody else reloads, but Cusack reloads. Everyone else is just like infinite bullets.
Yeah, when Akroyd comes out in the beginning and kills those 4 men and then loads 17 bullets into the dead guy, I'm like,
on like 6 shooters.
Yeah, I was like, how many bullets are in those revolvers? But I guess it's still fun. I don't know. I dig it. But yeah, I mean that. Some people didn't like the gunfight at the end of Grosse Pointe Blank, but I love it. I think it's fun. I mean, I don't know how else to resolve it. You got to kill these people. You can't just drive
otherwise
away.
it's just going to be unresolved. Or, is he going to just be like, oh, hey, grocer, I would actually like to be in your union. Thanks.
Yeah, like you got to kill everybody, right? You got to kill the spooks, the G-men.
Yeah.
You got to kill the hitmen. But Benny the Jet's employers are still going to go after him over Boudreaux, the Wonder Dog.
You would think so.
Poodle Pumper.
Yeah, well, maybe it shouldn't have been so wonderful and play fetch with sticks of dynamite. So what doesn't sound like a very smart dog.
What are your favorite moments in this movie? Like, what are some things in here that just you've remembered through the years? Like, when you watch this, like, what moments bring you joy?
I really like how the soundtrack is like a part of the movie. Like, it's not just, oh, right, we need a song here. Yeah, there's the scene where he kind of first goes into the convenience store when it's his home, and you've got like Live and Let Die playing, and then he goes inside, and there's like a slightly different version of Live and Let Die playing actually inside the store, kind of. And then obviously with Debbie being a DJ, she's kind of playing like various different songs, all of which basically Cusack just went into his record collection. Like, right, here are some bands I like. I'm going to play some. I want this music, this music, this music, this music.
It's perfect. Even the opening song, what I can see clearly now, because it's really contrasting too, because he used to love he used to love killing people, but now he's sort of his thoughts are sort of muddied on the issue. But then the songs I can see clearly now, even though that's the last thing he can do.
It's become a chore for him almost. He's there at the very beginning. He's on this job and he's like, okay, I used to kill this dude on a bike, and he's like, okay, yeah, I've got my gun. Oh, there he is, right, done. And then obviously things don't go quite to plan. He's like, well, they only paid me for one.
Yeah, he did his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just become money. So then, it's interesting. It probably used to be a thrill for him, and now it's just a job. And so he's almost going through a mini midlife crisis. It's like he likes murdering, but now it's become a job. So then, do you enjoy it?
Well, I guess some people do enjoy their work, but
I love my job.
If it does become like if it becomes like a chore, it's never fun.
Yeah, it's true. So I guess killing people gets boring when taxes are involved.
What do? Do you start coming up with more elaborate ways to kill people, for example?
Catapults?
Catapults, strings from ceilings with poison.
What a scene. That dude just turns his head and he just runs in and shoots him. And that's why he has to take the Michigan job, correct?
Yeah, it's because that job was supposed to look like a suicide, basically, or a heart attack, or I think it was a heart attack, they said. And because he shot him, it's like, in certain jurisdictions, I'm sure it could be argued that it was a heart attack. But most courts are going to say, yes, it was a bullet that killed him.
And going back to the soundtrack too, how much money do they pay for this? Do the band, they have Bowie in this, they have Queen, they have Under Pressure.
Yeah.
Like that's, this budget was only 15 mil.
I'd say they spent most of it on songs. I don't know if Cusack even took, because he's a producer on it as well. He might not have taken much of an acting fee for it, like the passion project.
Oh yeah, and he did say that Joe Roth over at Disney, they had a great working relationship with them. So they just did a handshake and he made 2 of his best movies ever. So he seems to they probably enjoyed the creative freedom. Cusack had a pretty hot name at the time. So I wonder if they just, because 15 million's nothing. Like, didn't they, in some movies, they drop like $1 million for a song.
Yeah.
To easily get this. So, I mean, they must have written letters or pulled some strings, or people love the Cusack. But I mean, it's not a big budget movie by any means. So, I mean, the budget, they blew up the Altamart, right? That probably cost a few bucks.
Yeah, was it Motorhead playing in the background?
Ace of Spades. And then you have that kid who works in a gas station. He's like, I'm hurt. I'm this. I gotta find a new job. But his headphones are magnificent, Niall, to not hear the gunfight.
Obviously, the noise cancelling technology was far ahead of its day. Yeah, another kind of modern convenience within the movie.
And he's just playing Doom. He's like, I can never go home, but I can shop there. Stupid.
But yeah, the kid's just there playing Doom, listening to Motorhead while the entire place is exploding around him.
And then he
I
saves
like
him.
to think, even with my headphones in, I would notice the absolute chaos that's
Yeah.
going on.
I mean, and they don't even have silencers on. I
No.
do, man, I like, in The Jerk, and he's like, they hate cans. Like, I feel like Benny the Jet hated that gas station because he blew up everything but Martin Blank, which makes me happy.
And I'm very like one thing that did confuse me about this scene is how did it actually trigger the bomb? Because
Isn't electricity that's supposed to do it, not a microwave? Like C4, doesn't C4 not work like that?
C4 requires like you to basically send,
An electrical.
no, it needs like a force, basically a sharp force. So I'm like, what has actually triggered that? Because it was just in the microwave, and then the microwave stopped, and that caused it to explode. I may or may not have looked into the mechanics of C4 after watching Die Hard recently, and I'm being like, how did that like thing explode?
Maybe there's a charger in it, and he just set the timer on the microwave, but that's not necessary because he ran out of there. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and
The microwave
did he
turning
like set it
off.
up? And did he set it up just for dramatic effect so that it would beep down like that and be like beep? That seems like
Maybe it's some special Canadian right? It's a
maybe.
new technique. It's a new C4 created specifically by Benny the Jet.
And it can only be kept stable by being in microwaves.
Whoa.
And as soon as you remove the microwaves from it, it explodes. Yeah.
The waves. So maybe he pulled a pin and then put it in the microwave, which kept it on stasis, and then when it turned off, it exploded.
Yeah, I don't think that's how the real world works, but we can go with it.
I mean, listen, maybe this is another timeline. This is it. And I like to think, though, that during his time in Budapest, that he came across Black Widow or Hawkeye, because it seems like every assassin goes to Budapest, right? Don't they? What is
it's
it?
It's a fun city.
But I love it. I like how, well, that was in Budapest. Like, you hear that every assassin in every movie has been to Budapest.
Well, it's got some great bars.
Okay, I have a question for you. Start, bench, fire. Martin Blank, John Wick, Leon the Professional. So on a job.
A difficult one. I think you got to start with Leon.
Yeah.
He's the most. It's even in his name. Professional. He is. He is lethal. He's absolutely lethal. His whole thing about the weapon you choose depends on how close you get, and it's like the better you are, the closer you can get, and it's like going up. And he wouldn't be using sniper rifles on bikers. He wouldn't be using wires down from the ceiling. You just go in there and probably just hand the guy a pill to be like, this will make you have a heart attack. You're going to die now. And then he'd sit there and smoke and watch him and be like, yeah.
And he doesn't want to quit. Or he doesn't want to leave because of a love interest.
No, he's just doing it.
So you start him. And then, who do you got next?
And then, I think you got to go John Wick, for pure carnage ability.
I mean, he's the Baba Yaga.
See, Martin Blank, his heart's not in it, right? He's struggling with his game. I think he needs to take a season off. Maybe go down to the lower leagues, work on his craft.
But there's no lower leagues
come back stronger.
What did lower leagues of Hitman do?
Maybe they're bouncers. They just beat people up instead of killing them.
No, but that makes sense because John Wick left. That's just because he found the love of his life. But prior to that, he seemed pretty happy murdering people. So Blank just wants out. But I did notice a fair amount of similarities between John Wick and Grosse Pointe Blank. There's issues stemming from the death of a dog, right? There's hitmen leaving.
Tenuous, but yeah.
There's hitmen leaving the industry because of the love of their lives. There is. Let's see. They both kill people with pens or pencils, if that makes sense.
Does John Wick kill someone with a frying pan, though? That's the question.
Yeah, you're right. That's amazing. And then also, they both have to deal with sort of unions or fallouts of not following the rules or not joining a union. So remember in the hotel, Wick breaks the rules and he's incommunicado. This one, he doesn't want to join the Union, then he becomes against them. So, do you think John Wick, the creators, watched Grosse Pointe Blank, and they're both dressed snazzily? They both dress like morticians?
Maybe.
What do you think?
It's definitely possible. When did Wick come out? What,
2014, maybe?
Yeah, it's definite possibility.
What do you think? Am I onto something? Tenuous?
I think it's probably tenuous, but it's a fun little thought exercise nonetheless.
Oh gosh! All right, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk more Grosse Pointe Blank. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks, and I don't think I'm ever gonna look at an egg white omelet the same ever again. I love that scene. I'll take an egg white omelet. What do you want on it? Nothing. Well, that's just egg whites. I don't care. I just want the protein. Like, what?
While he's got his hand under the table in like a brown paper bag.
Yeah, and like he looks bad in that situation though. Why does he make the monkey noises when he leaves? That's the one part I don't like.
I don't really get why he did that.
It's quite out of character for him, isn't it, to be boisterous or and rude in public?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
It might be one of Niall's face when I said that. You looked just as perplexed as I did. You just kind of squinted up the eyes, and you're like, "Wait, I don't."
It's it's a very odd choice,
right? I don't like it.
I assume they filmed, as we said a while ago, they filmed 3 versions of everything apparently, and this was the one that they liked the best. So I wonder what the other ones were.
That's the one scene. You never see him being boisterous in this film. And so to watch him do that.
Because, if you look at their first, if you look at their first meeting,
mental telepathy.
It's very, very much more reserved and calm. He stood by his car. They're talking about the Union.
They're sidestepping each other.
Hands kind of like in their pockets, like ready to get their guns out at a moment's notice.
Oh, that brings me joy watching the two of them walking towards each other. It makes me so happy.
Just like the side shuffle and just like one hand, on the holster, one hand kind of reaching out just to sort of half handshake.
Oh, it's beautiful the way Akroyd walks. Oh man, that scene. We'll just watch how he walks up to him with his little side shuffle. Oh, it makes me so happy. But yeah, that's the one thing I didn't like. And it got really aggressive when he's like, "I'm gonna shoot you in the head and do that stuff to the gun hole." That's
that got a bit extra,
right? But I guess I'm happy to see that because we know maybe there's that side to Martin Blank. But it's the one scene that's really doesn't work for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's the one scene. But that's interesting. I guarantee you're right. I bet you they filmed various sizes. They said they filmed over, what did he say? Over 75,000 feet of film or 750,000. Like I know people have shot a lot of film. And so he said over 45 days they shot a ton. So maybe that was the one that worked the best. But like they dropped the plate. Like Martin Blank. I feel like Dan Akroyd would have been the one who leaves the restaurant in those situations. Grocer, which is an interesting name. But yeah, that's my one nitpick where I've never understood that moment.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one. Up until that point, just where they've got their guns under the table and it's Han and Greedo.
He's bag lunching it.
And then it's fine, and then all of a sudden it just escalates a ridiculous amount.
Poodle pulper.
It doesn't seem to. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't seem to match up with what we see from Blank in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, he's a nice dude. I don't know, but maybe that's why it's maybe that's in his personality. Maybe Akroyd the kind of that brings it out of him. I mean, they do play.
Maybe.
I do love the prank scene in the bathroom where he goes up to Azaria and. The two guys, the two spooks, and then they're like, "He's coming back," and Dan Akroyd hides in the stall. Idiots.
Or when, they obviously know it's him, and then Akroyd comes out, "That's him!"
Yeah.
They're like, it's like, yeah, we know. We're not idiots. We've been watching him for like 3 days.
Oh, man. And they have terrible aim, too. They are unloading full clips at Martin Blank in that corner.
Oh, but it's plot armor,
Yeah, that's true. I am watching Hard Target again just to prove how hard of a target JCVD is to hit, because I'm pretty certain they fire over 1,000 bullets at him and only one hit. So it should be called Really Hard Target.
Yeah, well, you could call Commando Harder Target.
No, I've already done that.
How many rounds they fired?
I did. I figured out how many bullets missed him. I have the number somewhere.
It was, I remember reading it when you brought it out, but yeah, it was a silly number. But there are, for, a kind of black comedy, which this movie is kind of marketed as being.
Yeah.
There are an awful lot of bullets fired.
Yeah.
And missed.
Yeah. Like, you think about In Bruges, that's a black comedy. That's deadly.
Yeah. That is an awesome movie. It's so funny.
Black comedies, they're normally more violent, right? When you think about, or more, like, think about how raunchy Bad Santa is. Think about how violent In Bruges is.
Yeah.
I guess this is like a feel-good black comedy?
Yeah. Yeah, there's violence, but it's more like comedic violence, right? There was, I keep going back to the scene in the kitchen where, he shoots a guy about 6 times and still feels the need to bash him over the head with a frying pan just to finish him off. Like, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. And then the whole TV on the head. It's definitely comical. And the way he lays down on the ground. Like, action came secondary to all of this, right? Like, it's not... I don't think they really care too much about the action, but I still think, the best action scene, though, is the hallway fight. Aaron Newworth, Now with Aaron Abe on Twitter, he just shared he's like best front kick by a non-action star. That's a brutal fight. I mean, there's elbows, there's knees, there's pens, there's holds. Like, and you want to at the end of it, he's sweaty. It was like a 1-minute fight.
Yeah, he's sweaty. And then his buddy, Debbie comes first and screams, runs off. But then his buddy from high school comes around and sees him with a dead body. He's like, okay, what are we doing? Let's go. Dispose of the body. Cool. I'm in.
Oh, man, that boiler scene. And then they just drop the body so dispassionately. And then I like how Jeremy Piven goes to shake his hand. Hey, I'm this guy. I do this. I'm a real estate agent. And Martin just looks at him like, I already told you what I am. And he sort of just gets it and walks away. It's kind of a cool scene. And then I also like how that guy's in the background just standing around drunk, completely bombed.
Yeah.
I mean... I guess I never have been to a reunion, but Ken's just in the background looking drunk. He's going to use that line. But I do love that action scene. You could tell Cusack cared about that one.
It's a much more, it's something that, we've seen a lot of in the last kind of 5-6 years, particularly with the Netflix Marvel shows. There are a lot of hallway fights.
Yeah, Old Boy kicked it off.
And they're all pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude, the Daredevil. Oh, man. But you actually just made a pretty great point about black comedies, because we did an episode about Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson, and even the original movie. There's violence in there, but it's played so bleak. This one's a black... Is this movie a black comedy?
What the reviews say it is. They say it's a black comedy. I don't think the humor is that dark, to be honest. The humor is quite, the humor is drawn from kind of the ridiculousness of the situation, where it's like, hey, this guy's a hitman and he's kind of wandering around, and then Cusack's deadpan delivery. Yeah. Rather than something like In Bruges, where there are like, people getting shot and like all sorts of horrible people doing horrible things.
Fargo,
like
right?
Hookers and cocaine and all of that. Like,
Very Bad Things is a dark comedy. And like Cold Pursuit, there's an entire gag about how slow it takes to lift up his son's gurney. It takes about 45 seconds. They're just going... That's bleak.
Yeah.
Do you think this work? Well, I know it's odd to explore, but maybe that term just got thrown out, and then people were like, oh, I guess that's what this movie is. I should explore that theme. Because it's not a dark comedy. I would say it's more of like a romantic comedy than anything, right?
Yeah, I think it's definitely about it's all about his kind of his homecoming and his like kind of going back to the love of his life. The action and the violence is very much secondary.
But that's the term that got thrown out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry I'm all lost on this, but I wouldn't call. I used to call this like a dark comedy, but I just think I'll call it a romantic comedy now.
It's
And I'm happy for it though.
it's
That's why it's a desert island movie.
probably not the cuddliest of romantic comedies.
Yeah,
If you're dating somebody who's a little bit squeamish about violence,
that's
it's
true.
maybe not for them. But
Yeah, if this was though, like if this was in Bruges, because in Bruges would not be a desert island movie for me. I
in Bruges,
because that's heavy.
I would happily watch it, but not more than like once every couple of years.
What are your desert island movies?
Back to the Future.
Yeah, you should listen to the episode.
Um,
That's a good one.
I think I said on that episode, I can happily rewatch that anytime. I would probably go Jurassic Park. I really enjoy Armageddon.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen to that
I can like
episode.
rewatch. I can rewatch that anytime. Trying to think what are some other.
A Knight's Tale
I
I
guess
might consider because that's
it's
just
an
infinite.
interesting one.
Like I think Evolution is another movie I can watch endlessly. Deep Blue Sea would absolutely go
Yeah.
with me. You know why? Because I know I love that movie. But yeah, you know what? I'm just like if Grosse Pointe Blank's a desert island. That's one of my five. If I had to take five, there's good music. It's nice. Like I'm not gonna take Calvary with me onto an island.
Yeah, it's tough. It's for an island. Yeah, it would have to be something you'd rewatch. Like I remember, there are a couple of movies I've seen far, far too many times, and I just never want to see them again. Like I remember when I first moved to Korea, I was in like this like small one-room apartment with a VCR, and there were two videos left by the previous person, which were The Last Samurai and Enemy of the State. And these are the only things I had to watch for like my first month in Korea. So I watched them a lot.
Enemy of the State is quite rewatchable, right? Because just the kinetic,
Yeah.
like editing and the cool cast. Like there's always somebody interesting on screen in Enemy of the State.
Yeah, it's like you've got Hackman. Like I remember seeing that movie in the theaters
Oh
and
yeah.
it was pretty good.
Oh, I love a good
Um
Hackman.
but yeah, I think I could take Batman Begins actually. That's another one. That's my favorite of the Nolan Batman movies. It's
Tom
definitely
Skerritt, dude.
mm,
He's something else in that movie. I like him a lot.
yeah.
He's scary. He's legit scary. If Tom Skerritt was Dan Akroyd, then this movie would become a dark comedy.
Yes.
Okay, who would you cast now to play Martin Blank?
Um
Because Ebert said that when you look at John Cusack, you just think of a guy who's thinking of big words. Like you believe that he knows big words. Like when John Cusack says persnickety, you're like, yeah, of course he knows that word.
do you go with someone like Eddie Redmayne
Oh, that's really interesting. Is he?
or
He would have to lay off the like fantastic Trial of Chicago
you
7
have to
one. Normal Eddie Redmayne would be cool to see actually.
yeah. Yeah, he does
Oh,
have a tendency to go quite manic, but
Cusack can
yeah,
pull off that manic energy because he just seems like a really smart dude. He reads as smart when you look at Cusack on screen, right?
yeah.
Oh man, this is a tough question.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Who would you go for?
Oh, see, I put you on the spot. Now I'm okay. Let's see. How old should you be? 27-year-old actors.
Yeah, 27, 28, I guess.
All right. So you're pulling that up. 27-year-old celebrities. 27-year-old actors. No, not him. Not. Gosh, that's a really great question. I'm kind of lost now. Tom Holland? Because he's Andrew
I don't know.
Garfield?
He seems. I could see Garfield.
You know what? I'm saying Andrew. I think he's in his 30s now because he was 27 when he
Yeah,
did
he would be.
Spider-Man. But you know what? I'm doing it. I'm saying Andrew Garfield because he could he could read 27, 28.
Yeah,
Let's do
I
it.
think so. Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, Garfield.
I like it.
Then
All
who
right.
do you get as the female?
Whoa.
Who's going to be that girl next door?
Super cool. Oh man, I think Imogen Poots is good. Maybe get like Isaac Gonzalez. I think Taylor Russell's really good. How old is Taylor Russell? You know what? How old is she? Taylor Russell. Age. 27. You know what? Taylor Russell. Let's cast her. Her and Andrew Garfield. Actually, nice. Who's his Tick Tick Boom co-star? Alexandra Shipp from Tick Tick Boom with Andrew Garfield? Yeah, Alexandra Shipp. You know what? Just cast her. Tick Tick Boom reunion. Let Lin-Manuel Miranda direct it. Make it a musical. About a hitman.
Grosse Pointe Blank, the musical.
Do it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Grosse Pointe Blank, the musical.
It's already got, a great soundtrack. Just throw in a couple of original songs and you're golden.
All right. I love that. That sounds pretty good to me. I dig that.
Can Garfield sing? That's the question.
He can. Have you seen Tick Tick Boom?
No. That's the one about Rent, isn't it?
Yeah. He's good.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet.
He's peaking right now. He's up for an Oscar big time.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, but any other final thoughts about this movie before we get out of here?
Yeah, it seems like we didn't really even scratch the surface. To be honest. Like there's I think we just waffled on for an hour without actually even saying anything.
I love it. That's MF. Well, I mean, what else is? I mean, the problem with comedies, right? Because there's not much under the surface of this movie. So it's really hard to maybe analyze in a way of like, there's no time travel, so you can't think of the timelines. There's no issues with bowling. Like, even his character arc, Martin Blank's character arc, he doesn't really have one. He just says, he's sort of forced to quit the industry. I think he'll still kill. He's not going to stop killing.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but he might just do it as a hobby instead of... maybe take a leaf out of like Dexter's book and just be like, okay, find some criminals who deserve to die.
Yeah.
And use his cat, knock at the door, and he can just be like, maybe put on a mask like Batman and just be like, if you've done something to have me at your door, you're a bad person. And he just shoots them.
Yeah, because he doesn't want
to. Like Anton Chigurh in New Country for Old Men.
Because he said he doesn't want to kill for fun, right? Because he kills for money, and that's different. And he's like, well, that's weird. So he's going to have to kill for a reason to keep his delusions alive.
Yeah.
And do you think that
he could become the Punisher? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Because he seems too chill to be the Punisher, right? I don't think he enjoys torture, does he? And like that mean. He doesn't
not that
enjoy
we've
mean
seen.
Kills. He seems like just get out of there, get in, get out. I don't think he.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Do you think he enjoys torture, Martin Blank?
I don't think so. He seems like he's just very much about just getting the business done. I don't think he's a sadist.
Yeah. So then, it's a good point. He's not a sadist, so he'll just go around killing bad people. Will Minnie Driver know about it?
Maybe. I don't know.
And I do want to say there is a cop character in this movie, and there's a cop character in Garden State who are kind of close to each other. So I wonder if Garden State ripped off coming back home for a reunion. He comes back home after 10 years. Just bringing it out there.
It's possible.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah. But this movie, like, it's another case of, we talked about it, I think, during the Armageddon one. This was another one of those movies where you had two movies with the same kind of theme in the same month. So this came out the same month in 1997 as Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. Which is like, very different. Yeah. A very, very different kind of feel of the movie, but it's interesting.
I mean, they're both offbeat comedies. They're both cult classics, I would say.
Yeah.
Do you think that Jeremy Piven's character ended up with Jenny Slater, or do you think he messed it up?
I think he messed it up. She had zero interest whatsoever.
He was dancing with her at the end. He was clearly loaded on coke. Did you see the scenes where he kept rubbing his nose? You think he did blow?
But considering like the Bob was like just going around to everyone, it's like, hey, do you want to do blow? Do you want to do blow? He probably went and did some blow.
Beamer Bob.
Beamer
Bob, I love it. Yeah, so so he messed it up with Slater, and I do love the line where he's dealing with the baby, and she's like, "You won't break him," And then she's like,
that's a weird scene.
Yeah, where she just hands him the baby.
Where it's like you've got Under Pressure playing in the background, and there's just like a staring contest between Martin Blank and this baby there's like a good 5-6 seconds of screen time where it's just we have this staring contest with a baby.
Well, I think if you think about it, he is under pressure, right? Because he feels like he's 27, he has nothing going on with his life, he's not married, he doesn't have kids. And then Minnie Driver sees him. That's more pressure. He's holding a baby. She does just hand him that baby quite cavalier, which is kind of wild. But the under pressure makes sense. And that baby, that's a good little acting baby. But I like that he says that he's vulnerable to the elements. He's like, yeah, they do seem quite vulnerable to the elements. That's the most John Cusack line I've ever heard in my life. That he's vulnerable to the elements.
Yes. Well, it's true.
And then all the dancing scenes. I love the wide shots of the dancing scenes because the actors are going for it, man. Do you see the way they're rocking out? Like, I wonder if they just played the music and filmed like a wide shot of them for a half hour and then took the best.
They probably just had a party and just like, go full method. It's like, right, all you guys just get really drunk and we're going to play some Bowie and just dance dance.
Just dance. Cudlitz, though, he's rocking, and then he falls on the ground.
Yeah.
And then there's the sleeveless guy of sleeveless shirts who I've seen before in many different movies.
They were the guys who wanted to go and smoke weed, were they? I think that was their thing.
And I didn't see the wrestlers there, which is kind of a bummer. The wrestlers weren't dancing. Actually,
they're probably wrestling.
Yeah, the wrestlers seemed kind of thrown off by him when he asked him where that guy was, and he was all bleeding. The wrestler walked away, the Greco-Roman.
Well, if you're doing, a stereotypical reunion picture, what will be happening is the wrestlers will be going around and challenging people to wrestle because that's their thing.
So they would
be wrestling.
Now, I would not want to wrestle a Greco-Roman professional at my high school reunion.
No thanks. No, thank you.
And I also want to say a couple more things for you, Gowdy. I do love when he leaves Joan Cusack money. That makes me so happy.
Yes.
And I love the way her closing. She's just going to light that building on fire. That makes me very happy. They're going to have to hide the rest of their lives because they still have Boudreaux's people hunting them. So I guess the sequel could be him killing everybody that wants him dead and then him becoming Dexter.
Interesting.
That's a Grosse Pointe Blank troll. So he can live a quiet life. He has to kill everybody. But everyone knows he's going after him. Well, what's going to happen to the Union now that Dan Akroyd's dead? The Union's got to know that he's dead.
You would think so. I guess the East German guys take over.
Oh, I hate those guys. What about the maids who stab people?
Yeah, they do great in the hotel trade.
And I do love that they wanted him to kill somebody from Greenpeace. He's like, I have scruples.
Yeah, so that was a real life reference to the Greenpeace ship that was targeted by like the French government or something.
Really?
It's like in New Zealand. Yeah, in the 90s there was like a controversy where like a Greenpeace ship was sabotaged.
Oh man. So that was
actually like protesting nuclear testing or something.
Oh, that's amazing. Like, I have scruples. So they only wanted to kill the dad because of a leaky sunroof, and he was going to tell people about it, right? Is that the...
Yeah, basically.
So his whole thing about killing bad people is not true.
No.
He's a psychopath.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, this was awesome, man.
Do we think he would have gone through with it if he'd been shot down by Debbie?
No. He doesn't seem like a spite monster. Do you think he would have?
But would he have... Well, it might have been a case that was like, well, I've got a job to do. I guess I'm continuing doing my job.
If she turned him down...
father of...
Okay, the only way, if she totally turned him down and married somebody else, and then he had to kill him. But if he keeps him alive, he could maybe get a second chance. Like, hey, I'm a monster, but I saved your dad. So I don't think he would have unless she just wasn't involved in the picture. Like, she was living in California married to somebody, and that was him. He would have shot him.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Bring in the heat, Niall. All right, man.
Occasionally.
Well, let's get out of here. I appreciate you joining me, man.
Yeah, I always enjoy an excuse to watch interesting movies.
Yeah, man. Hang out with me. All right, so from me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Now More, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.